Video games are like underwear. Everyone's got their top 5. Or something like that. For the second video on this second channel, I wanted to show you my top 5 favorite video games. And yeah, I know I haven't uploaded in like 8 months, okay? I've been busy.
Imagine a world where dogs have mastered the art of interstellar travel, exploring the depths of space and discovering new planets teeming with life. Their advanced technology has allowed them to transcend the limitations of their physical form, becoming beings of pure energy, capable of inhabiting any environment.
Thought I was doing something else. Anyway, you've waited 8 months, so let's just hop right into it and do the dang thing. Starting off this list with a big ol' stinky banger, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is number 5 on my list of my top 5 favorite video games. Now, unless you've lived under a rock like a Korok seed, it's a Zelda joke, and you've probably heard of this game, is what I was trying to say. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker was released on the Nintendo GameCube back in 2002. There are tons of reasons why I love this game so much, from the animation style to the music to the gameplay. It all makes me just feel a little spicy inside, you know? I got this game for my birthday in 2003, and it was the first Zelda game that I ever played. I still remember that hot intro music that plays on the title screen when you boot it up. Banger song. For me, it was also my first puzzle adventure game, and it really made me feel like I was exploring the high seas and the islands throughout the little Zelda world. Now look, I love Breath of the Wild, I love Tears of the Kingdom, Minish Cap, and Link's Awakening, but Wind Waker takes the cake for being my favorite Zelda game. I know when it first came out, some fans didn't like the art style, but for a kid in the early 2000s, it made the game very approachable. Especially because I'd seen Link and the gang in other games like Smash Brothers, and I could tell that this was an entirely different game and an entirely different storyline. I think if the game had a more serious tone like the other games in the series, it would have turned me off from the game, because I was just a little kid with gamer rot brain, and if a game looked too intense for me, ain't no way in heck I'm gonna touch it. Now, I can't talk about Wind Waker without talking about the re-release on the Wii U, which was one of the main reasons I got a Wii U in the first place. That and Mario Kart 8, which is wild that that game was a reason I bought a Wii U, and Nintendo still has that game on life support. Anyway, the Wii U remaster of Wind Waker is a very good remaster, certified very good. It fine-tuned a lot of things, made the graphics nice and crisp, and made it feel like how I imagined the game when I think back to when I was a kid. Wind Waker was a groundbreaking game for the GameCube, and with its innovative gameplay mechanics, stunning art style, and captivating storyline, it had left the biggest impression on my heart container. Get it? That's 2 Zelda jokes. You get 2 Zelda jokes. This game might be a weirder pick for some people to understand, but just hear me out. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 is still my favorite of the Tony Hawk games in terms of the mainline series. Yes, there may be some nostalgia in this choice, but I recently replayed the game again, as I do like yearly, and it is still one of the best Tony Hawk Pro Skater experiences. It fine-tuned everything from focusing on a ton of freestyle tricks to the open career mode where you weren't on a time limit in the level. And in my opinion, the game bumps right up to the line of goofy and serious, which is just the perfect blend for a skateboarding game, in my opinion. Underground got a little sillier and added in a bunch of vehicles to drive around, and Underground 2 really went off the rails in terms of being a skateboarding game, and though it did tone down a little bit more in American Wasteland, I still think Pro Skater 4 blended humor, skateboarding culture, and fun gameplay all into one perfect little tiny little circle disc because I was playing on the GameCube. I would also argue it's one of the hardest Pro Skater games in the mainline series. Once you beat a certain amount of challenges in the game, you unlock Pro Challenges, which are even harder goals. In my most recent playthrough, there were still a handful of goals that took me dozens of tries to complete, and there were a few I ended up just giving up on because I was like, look, I got other things to do. You know, I've got to cook dinner tonight. The levels are also some of the most memorable Tony Hawk levels out there. I will say, Shipyard and London are kind of mid-levels, but I love every single other level in this game, and they kind of feel like their own little characters in a way. Also, you get to play as Jango Fett, and that's nutty. Okay, listen up. I'm a weeb for Kingdom Hearts. Look, I was an emo kid in the early 2000s. The Venn diagram for emos and Kingdom Hearts fans is pretty big, and I'm right there in the dang middle. I remember being blasted by Kingdom Hearts ads on Disney Channel as a kid. Those ones where the kid breaks into the Disney lad and leaks all that hot gameplay footy. It's funny because if that happened in real life, Disney would sue your axle off. When the first one came out, my older brother rented it from Hollywood Video, and I remember just watching him play, and then when he got bored of it, I got my grubby little paws on it and played it, and I was hooked. The story was confusing for a 10-year-old, and also me, currently, a 30-year-old. Quick rant to the creators of Kingdom Hearts. Not everything has to be directly linked to the main storyline. They somehow made a rhythm game have a storyline with real lore that you would need to learn for future games. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts 1 was both dope and emo, aka my perfect piece of pie. But then my boys over at Square Enix were like, okay, that one was cool and all, but what if we just get a little nuttier and crank this bad boy up to 11? And then we got Kingdom Hearts 2, and now look, I'm not going to go into every single reason why I love KH2, because I have a whole video idea for that in the future, but I'm going to tell you some quick highlights. First off, the gameplay is bonker billies. The fast-paced RPG fighting style is something I still look for and crave in modern video games. Also, being able to meet all your favorite, or least favorite, Disney characters was also a rad time as a kid. And even though a lot of people don't like this, I find it fun. All the cheesy dialogue, perfect. I love it. It's a huge bonus when playing the game. I mean, when else are you going to hear Mickey Mouse say something like this? Also, the music in Kingdom Hearts makes you want to simultaneously rage against the machine and cry with the machine. In all seriousness, though, Kingdom Hearts 2 is best described as, I am cringe, but I am free. Get me a cowboy hat and a Willie Nelson song because it's time to talk about Red Dead 2, aka Red Dead Redemption 2, aka Cowboy Sim 20, whatever it came out. I can't remember. I got this game for Christmas one year because I had heard non-stop love for the game, and I played it for like 25, 30 hours, got a good chunk of the way through, and then this other little game called Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and since I'd been waiting literally a decade for that game, I jumped over to that, and I kind of forgot about Red Dead 2. But then in 2020, with nothing else to do but look out the window and play video games, I picked it back up and started completely over. And I don't know why the second time around it hit me so hard, but I became obsessed with this game. The true beauty of Red Dead 2 cannot be captured in a few-minute rant in a goofy video, but let me tell you that this is probably the most detailed game I've ever played. And I'm not the first one to say that, I'm not breaking any new ground here, and there are a bunch of videos that will explain this 10 times better than me, but there is so much that you can do in this game, and all the details really immerse you into the life and times of Mr. Arthur Morgan. I almost said Arthur Morgan, but I really nailed the rest of that sentence, so I'm gonna just keep it. The story is also just so good. I almost shed a tear when I beat this game, and that is saying a lot because I've only got close to crying a couple of times because of media, and once was Red Dead 2, and once was Coco. His grandma was the last one that remembered. Not only is the story amazing and the details are abundant, but the gameplay is also just so much fun. I'd be content with just riding around on my horse for hours and doing side missions and listening to Dutch say, "Arthur, I've got a plan!" That was a very poor Dutch impression, and I just hurt my throat. Before I reveal my favorite video game of all time, here is a quick honorable mention list. Enjoy. It's no secret that I'm a big Pokemon nerd, and if you're watching this video and notice I haven't mentioned a Pokemon game yet, you probably knew it was going to be my #1 pick. Pokemon Crystal is the special edition version of Pokemon Silver and Gold. It came out in 2001, and to this day, I don't think I've sunk more time into any other video game. When I was a younger lad and a novice gamer, I hate saying that, but I only had a Game Boy Color. I didn't have any consoles in my house. I got a used version of Pokemon Red, and it was one of the first video games I put tons of time into, and it introduced me to the world of Pokemon. But it wasn't until I got a brand new copy of Pokemon Crystal did my gaming third eye became open. I kid you not when I say the times I have started a new game in Crystal have to be in the hundreds, if not thousands. As a kid, I'd start a game, pick a starter, sink weeks into my save file, and then I'd get bored of my starter and my team. I would delete my game and start over and try to get a whole new team of Pokemon, and that's called undiagnosed ADHD. Sometimes I would only make it to like the 4th or 5th gym before redoing my experiment and starting all over, deleting my save file, doing the whole shebang again. I did this again and again and again. I mean, I was a middle-class kid in the 2000s. This was like the height of entertainment for me. And with the portability of the Game Boy, I could play Crystal anywhere, on the way to family events, in the morning before school, after school, during vacations. And I feel like there actually was probably a wedding or two that my mom let me bring my Game Boy to, and I played Pokemon Crystal at some poor couple's wedding. It started my Pokemon and video game obsession, and I'm still riding off that high of getting to explore Kanto after beating Johto. Seriously, as a kid, I didn't spend all my time looking up random stuff on the internet, so when I got to Kanto the first time, I went hog wild. I was feral. The bright graphics of Pokemon Crystal are still screen burned into my little brain, and the music from the game takes me right back to my childhood, where I spent countless hours trying to catch them all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it enjoyable. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button down below and click subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And as always, have fun, good luck, and keep shredding the gnar.